Hello
Yo,
everyone.
what is up?
Hello
Yo,
everyone.
what
I'm
is up?
Quasar.
Yo, what
I'm
is
God. I'm Quasar. I'm here with Goldfish Galance, and we're here talking or watching Mewshmallow versus Planolution, another top 8 game in Black Hole Battles 2. What's the big deal about this match? Like,
well, winners top eight, looking pretty stacked,
yeah.
given that we've gotten through most of the newer players and the
Mm-hmm,
weaker
mm-hmm.
links, and we're starting to get into the
The
really
meat and potatoes of the tournament.
exactly, yes, the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Uh, and Mewshmallow kind of a dark horse in Chaos Galaxy tournaments in the past. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he does well on SBR, but nobody really pays attention to him, and we're seeing a bit of a resurgence now,
Yeah.
looking pretty strong going into this tournament.
Mm-hmm. If he top fours this tournament, that would be so big for him. He's really only gotten top four once, and that was in a tournament that doesn't even count anymore because it's best of one. But
Yeah.
yeah, if he top fours this would be his first best of three placement, and it would be just really big for him on SBR. And a win over
Hmm.
Planolution might be good for the future. A bit about Planolution. Planolution was kind of a lower skill player in the past. He messed up his owns. Uh,
You love to see it.
you love to see it. Um, but recently he picked up Sinnoh Control, and I think he thought about the game a lot more, and he started to do really well. He beat Nova earlier, which is a really good win for him. And if he beats
Uh,
Mewsh, he'll really show that he's a real bracket threat, you know?
oh yeah, I didn't even realize that Planolution beat Nova. That's a pretty big win for him for
That is a big
sure.
win, yeah.
And so I'm not exactly sure on what Planolution is playing here, but it looks like some sort of Sinnoh control,
Mm-hmm.
which is I can't imagine it's the more standard lists that we have, but it's as it's running Atomic Gi, but
Yeah,
it looks like still got it's still going to be solid Sinnoh control list,
yeah.
and
We see him answer Kalelion with Gatamic Gi. I wonder if he knows that he's going into burn right now.
yeah, I don't think a lot. I think Burns a fairly new deck for a lot of these players that
Yeah.
only play in tournaments, so he might be expecting something completely different.
Mm-hmm. And you just a couple minutes ago showed us why it's important to keep your skill up. Like the meta has evolved, so not playing for a while, you're gonna fall behind. And Planolution has not played for a while,
Mm,
uh,
yeah, for sure.
so we'll see if that
There are
has
a
an
lot of just
effect on
like
him, like it did with Mastodon.
there are a lot of nuances that are in this game that sort of evolve over time.
Yeah.
Even just the standard of deck lists
Mm-hmm.
can completely change in a couple months.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I think Mush probably has a bit of an edge in this matchup, especially with Planolution not really knowing
Yeah.
what he's going to be playing. So
I think there's a good chance Muse just completely washes him because, as were saying earlier, he kind of doesn't keep up with stuff. So there's a good chance he doesn't know what he's going into. And even if he does, Sinnoh Control kind of, because I believe this is Sinnoh Control, like some
mm,
weird Sinnoh Control list. It's
yeah,
kind of bad into burn unless you build it in
yeah,
like in a different way. Like, and I'm assuming he just doesn't know how to do that.
yeah. But at least the benefit of Planolution's list, by the looks of things, is he has sort of a mid-range aspect going on.
Yeah.
And Atomic Gi's applying a bit of pressure to Mush right now.
Mhm.
We've seen him body block it every turn, but uh, you you would think that if he had Ice Alexa by now, he would play it. So
Yeah.
Mush might be running out of easy answers.
Mhm. For those of you who don't know, this deck that Misha is playing, Burn, the goal of the deck is to basically win from creature abilities and card abilities, basically. So abilities like Point, the classic meme card, uh, that gets you 1 point, he actually plays those in his deck, and he plays other cards like that to basically try to gain points and get to 20 points. Uh,
Hmm.
and if you let it start like drawing through all its cards, uh, you can lose to this deck really fast.
For sure. The cornerstone of this deck, of course, being Point Tato, which, when that card first came out, everyone just assumed it's one of those silly cards that we'll never see play. But then eventually we realized that you can actually control the turn that the Point Tato comes back to your planet,
Mm-hmm.
which actually makes it really strong. And
Yeah,
a free 5 points
that's a quarter of the
just
game.
over a couple of turns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if Mush is able to draw into his Point Tatoes early, that will be it's sometimes it's just backbreaking.
Yeah.
I think one of the most common problems for Burn is that it it will draw too many of its creatures and point gain early when really it needs a bit of card draw to really stay afloat.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to get through some of the deck first before you can really start
Yeah.
rolling with all of the point gain.
It looks
Otherwise,
like
you're just gonna
Mish is
have
not having
no
that
answer
problem
from
though.
hand. Yeah.
We see Cosmic
Uh,
come down and Star Path right after. Star Path letting you draw for every 4 stars that you play or that you pay.
yeah. That's a huge five cards in one turn.
Yeah.
And it looks like Mish is having no problems setting up the Orbov, looking really strong right now.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, things could not be going better for Mewshmallow here. Let's see if Planolution can actually put on some pressure. He buys the second battle zone. Looks like he's gonna play another creature, try to swing in face, maybe go a bit faster.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think Planolution knows this, but Mish, I believe, does not actually main deck Beast of the Black Hole.
Mm-hmm.
So that that could
Could be
be
big.
yeah, that could be really important for getting this Atomic E to do damage. Oh,
Oh, you hate to see it
yep.
if you're Planolution here. Point turret, letting you gain points if a creature attacks your planet, you cancel the attack and gain the points they would gain. That
Yep.
does so much for burn here.
Planolution just not able to find the damage and get on the board here.
Yeah.
But he is maintaining the pressure, so
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how this plays out.
We see ice come down.
And the Ice Elixir,
Oh god.
and
Planolution is
this is
stuck now. This is the worst case scenario.
yeah, this is the demonstration of how annoying this deck can be and completely lock you down.
Yeah. I was gonna say something about Planolution playing Waku, because normally Sinnoh Control or any deck really does not want to play any creatures with low power like Whack-A-Man, because you'll get stuck, because they'll Ice Elixir your other creature, and then Whack-A-Man or Orbob or Thorngripwork or whatever it is will just be stuck in your other zone, and
Sure.
it's way too expensive to set up other ones, so I don't know. It's just not the
Mhm.
best.
But Planolution will be able to trade in the Waku Man here if he chooses,
Yeah.
and free up a zone, which will be pretty important, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. So he buys
Planolution
another
will probably
resource.
want to utilize Galaxy Crash simply to remove the Ice Elixir at some point,
Yeah.
uh, as there's not really a lot of Galaxy Crash targets in Mewshmallow's deck.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Planolution buying that second resource zone? That was really odd, wasn't it?
Uh, I think it's yeah, I think it's strange in this position to buy another resource zone.
What do you think he's going for?
That's probably the best point turret target in the
Yeah.
deck, so it's pretty big for Planolution, I would say.
Burn really never swings face. It's usually playing chump creatures, and the 4 creatures that can actually swing face only do 1 or 2 damage. So 2 damage really
Mhm.
is the best you're gonna get if you're going against Burn and running turret.
If we could see a Galaxy Crash come down from Planolution here, I think that could really unlock the game for him.
Yeah.
You get big value on not letting Waku Man draw, you clear the point Phantom, and you
Mm-hmm.
free up Ice Elixir.
But I don't know if he's gonna get that Galaxy Crash because I don't know if you saw, but he runs either 39 or 40 cards. Uh,
Mm.
we talked about it last stream or last match, why that's so bad. If you want to talk about it again, Fish, you can.
Well, of course, the more cards you have in your deck, the less likely you are to see any one individual card.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, the the less cards you have in your deck, the more consistent it will be overall because you'll see the cards you want to see more often. So,
Yeah.
sometimes you might want to go over the limit just a little bit for maybe going for value or fatigue, and you don't really care too much about which cards you're seeing in particular. But uh, I think here it's and you're playing a control deck, and you can probably just run something like double wormhole for the
Yeah.
value if you really wanted to.
We see the first potato come down. That's gonna be a real problem for Planolution.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has any way to deal with that. It's just gonna get Mewsh 5 points in a couple turns.
Yeah, I'm completely unsure about Planolution's deck, but of course the one answer he could probably have is Relihex Mine,
Yeah.
which will give Planolution the 5 points,
Mm-hmm.
which would be pretty crazy. You also has to be careful not to make the mistake of attacking on the fourth turn of the potato,
Mm-hmm.
because an activator can be played and then like
Potato will
Planetary
swap.
Field or something, for example, and
Mm-hmm.
it will swap to the
Yeah.
opponent's planet. So of course, Point Tato is after 5 turns,
Mm-hmm.
the player after 5 turns, the player who has the card on their planet will gain 5 points,
Yeah.
and the card swaps after each resource and or activator card is
Mm-hmm.
played. So
I'm not even sure if Planolution has ever seen a Tato. I don't think he's ever played against it.
wait, it triggers at start of turn, doesn't it?
Uh,
Point Tato.
After someone turns and or like in between the end of someone's turn and the start of another person's turn. It's after someone's turn ends. That's why Relo Hex works.
Yeah, it would be at the start of each turn, like as you draw your card
Surely
each
it'd
turn.
just be in between.
Uh, well, no, because it's after 5 turns.
Yeah. Like after
So
the person ends their turn, before the other person draws, like that's when Tato should, do the thing, right?
yeah, it's like when they're drawing, because then their turn has started, and then
I
you've
suppose.
lived a full turn.
Alright, we see him. I think he traded his Wagyu, frees up his creature zone, lets him put some more pressure, I guess. But I don't know. Like you said in chat, with ticks, the clock is ticking
Mm-hmm.
for Planolution here.
Definitely.
After if Mewsh gets this Tato, he'll be at 12. Uh, 8 points is not that big of a deal for Burn to get, especially when Mewsh has nearly his entire deck in his hand. Really only 7 cards left. He's surely to draw into his other Tato soon, and when he does, he'll only need 3 more points, which he can easily get from things like Point and Point Tree, which gain you 1 and 2 points respectively.
I don't know if that explanation works for me.
Uh,
I'm a little
in
confused here,
chat,
but yeah, I mean, as long as it should be fine. I don't think there'll be too much confusion.
yeah.
But it's just when you play the potato, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll say like it's your main phase. We
Yeah.
don't really have a main phase, but it's your main phase.
Yeah.
And so when you end, it
Mm-hmm.
becomes the opponent's main phase, and so that's one turn. So it's during the turn that it ticks. Am I wrong about that, or
I
like that
think
was
it's
my
because since it says
assumption?
after, like after 5 turns, that means after the fifth turn ends, but before the next turn starts, because like I don't know, since it says after, it's
But
like
then that
right
would
after
mean,
the turn ends, but before the
but
next
then that would
person's turn
mean
start.
that it's just with that explanation,
Mm-hmm.
then Planolution gets to control the turn that the potato explodes.
Why? Only with
Because
Relics.
no, like if it only goes off at the end of the turn, then
Hmm. We'll talk about it more after the game.
sure.
We see Hecto come down, bring back Gi into deck. I'm not sure if what Planolution wants to be doing now is um, sending cards back into his deck because I don't know. Surely he wants there to be a higher chance that he hits cards like Pelfam. Um,
I think so. But if he's getting back, I believe he just got back Atomic Gear, which
yeah,
is a pretty large threat. So
that's also true.
it's probably a thing that he would like to see, I
Mm-hmm.
imagine. It's unfortunate that on the turn he plays Galaxy Crash, he cannot uh, put out any more damage than just 2 points.
Yeah.
Sitting on all those stars, you would like to push a lot of face damage, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he's scared of Beast of the Black Hole coming down.
Maybe. See, Mewsh play Treasure after I guess you could just play Treasure outright. Treasure, we talked about it last match. If you have less cards on your field and in your hand than the opponent, you have to draw 2 cards. Because of the nature of burn, it's going to be playing a lot of cards that don't replace themselves. Like point doesn't replace itself, you play it and then discard it. So it's usually going to have less cards than the opponent.
Sorry, I was
It's all good.
reading that. Um, so okay, yeah, just sorting out if Cosmic is able to be played because of Potato, which of course it is.
Yeah.
So everything's fine there.
Mewsh gets the Tato off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Only has 4 cards left in deck. There's a very high chance he's going to get his other potato down soon. And after that, all it takes is another point tree and he'll win the game. Which he definitely has in hand. Has he even played point
Yeah,
tree yet?
I don't believe so. Points just seem to come out of nowhere with this deck, of course.
Yeah.
And here is the confusion on Point Tato, which I was worried about here.
Yeah. This is why it's important to play the game, guys. If you want to make it far in the tournament, you need to be playing against, not only playing the game, but you need to be playing against other good players. The experience really does matter in tournament because there's a lot of, as Fish was saying in the beginning of the stream, there's a lot of nuanced things in this game that if you're just not aware about, someone's going to be able to punish you really hard. And like one little misunderstanding can cause you to just completely lose the game. So it's important to not only even just playing, but it's important to stay warm.
Hmm. For sure. Like a good example of this was the huge meta shift that happened with KO and FaceTime and Meltalon.
Mhm.
FaceTime was being run in uh, a lot of decks. Like it had really large representation for a little while.
Yeah.
But then when decks started using KO to burst through FaceTime for lots of damage at a time, people started to like FaceTime a lot less.
Mhm.
And so it got played less and less because, KO was one card answering
Yeah.
uh, and being as effectively a time flash portal,
Mhm.
but better on this specific instance. And then so people started playing less FaceTime, and then this caused people to play less KO as well because there was not as much FaceTime
Yeah.
as a good target. So some people are playing less KO, and that's just completely changed like a really large, uh, like a semi staple in a deck. Being KO
Yeah.
is like just completely missing now.
Mhm.
and that's all just from happened over like a couple months of playing
Honestly, a
around with
couple
these cards.
weeks.
Yeah.
Things have changed so fast recently. Like even 4 months ago, nothing is the same compared to now.
And we see a lot of the same decks, but they're built a lot differently and
Yeah,
thought about in very different ways.
we see
People are
Mewsh.
starting to understand the format.
Yeah, we see Mewsh play Ice Elixir down. Because of Planolution's large deck size and him only being able to answer this Ice Elixir with KO,
hmm
he's just in a really, really rough position.
Yeah, this is brutal. We see the other point Tato come down,
Yeah.
and
Even though he planetary fielded that Phantom, and in theory, if that went off, Mewsh would win the game in a couple turns. It really doesn't matter because Mewsh still has his trees. He has his point tree, which gets him 2 points. Burn has pretty much checkmated him, and unless he can win the game and gain 14 points in the next couple turns, I think things are pretty doomed.
oh, this is pretty huge though. Heckgoat able to kill itself with his ability, so not sure if Mush realized, but with Mush having only two cards left in deck,
Hmm.
you have to imagine he has all of his burn cards in
Yeah,
hand, and once this potato goes off, it's just
the game
game
will
over.
end.
So
Yeah,
Planolution has to kill Mush before potato activates and before he can, just go double point tree and
yeah.
point and win.
I didn't even realize that was
Scary.
an option too. Mewsh wins this game in 2 turns.
Yeah,
That's how much time Planolution has left.
I would not be surprised to see Thorngerbook crash in here, but he does opt to poke for 1 damage.
He doesn't even poke. I guess he's afraid of Beast. Lack of
I don't.
understanding from not playing a lot.
I don't think he. I just don't think he understands.
Yeah, he's probably just not too well versed in this matchup. Oh, I guess he meant to attack. Still
Yeah, not a lot
unfortunate.
of sense of urgency from Planolution here.
Yeah, might not know what's gonna happen. See Bugon come down. If this Bugon goes through, Mish is gonna win the game next turn. Unless Planolution has like Damocloid or something. We'll see what happens.
And I wonder if Yush will be able to make use of Temp Floaty as well in some way.
You might do that just for fun, because he has about like 5 ways to win the game now.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of cards in hand to get rid of. It would be
Yeah,
pretty crazy to see him do that.
Planolution
So
thinking about what to do.
yeah, I just don't see Planolution having a lot of options here. So we're probably going to see a game two with Mush leading 1-0,
Yep.
but we'll see if something crazy happens at the end here.
Mm-hmm.
And this Mush is going to be feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah,
Gets him
definitely.
one step closer to
Mm-hmm.
hitting that lucrative top four. That'll
Yeah,
sort of probably solidifies him as
as
what
one of
one of
the
the top ones.
yeah. Because right now, there's probably really only when thinking about Chaos Galaxy competitive, there's really 3 different people who are understood to really have a chance at winning a tournament. But if Mewsh can get top 4 here and get a win over one of those 3 players, I think Mewsh will solidify himself as a huge threat of winning tournaments as well in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see him making top two getting third or even top two
Yeah. The
in
higher the
this,
better.
this event. Yeah,
Looks like Mewsh's just gonna go
go for the win
crazy.
here.
See him double point. He really doesn't need to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. This is all just flashy at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Planolution is seeing what this deck is truly capable of.
Yeah. And that's game one.
Hmm. So Mewsh not even risking it, not even letting that point Tato
Go
potentially.
off.
Yeah,
Uh, Planolution's really gonna have to do a lot of thinking about this matchup because if he goes in trying to play similarly, he's gonna lose in the same exact way. I think there
I
is
think
really no chance he can win if he plays similarly to how he played last game.
yeah, he definitely needs to just sort of send it face
Yeah.
and hope for the best.
And rethink about what cards he's playing when, because he really can't leave certain things on board.
Yeah. I would definitely say this is very much an uphill battle for Planolution,
Yeah.
given that Burn's very simple in its play style, and
Mm-hmm.
Planolution's got a lot of thinking to do to
Yeah.
actually break through this sort of cheese kind of deck. I would say.
Yeah. And in such a short amount of time, it's just, I don't know. But if he can do it, and get this win somehow, it'll just be even more impactful, uh, for how the scene sees Planolution as a player. Because I don't think anyone really expects him to win.
Yeah, for sure. If Planolution were to stay warm, as you say,
Mm-hmm.
in the scene, I think he could do a lot more,
Yeah.
and he would be expecting this deck, and he would probably have a much better chance
Yeah.
of winning it here.
Looks like we're gonna have some time until the next game. Let's talk about the bracket a bit since we have some time.
For sure, yeah.
If Mewsh wins the next game or wins this set, he's gonna be in winners semis and most likely go against Oddish. What do you think about that matchup?
Uh, I I haven't seen what Oddish is playing. I
Burn.
heard that
Or not burn. Control.
he's playing control. Yeah. So it'll be another burn versus control matchup, which I imagine Mewsh has to feel pretty good about.
Yeah.
But Oddish definitely does some weird things with his
Yeah.
lists and might have a couple tricks up his sleeve
Mm-hmm.
for this matchup in particular. So, Oddish is definitely the guy to beat Burn with control if there ever were a player to do
Yeah.
so.
And
It's
Oddish is
exciting stuff.
Oddish.
Yeah,
One of the three players that we were talking about earlier who we really see having a chance of winning a CG tournament, a CG major tournament.
yeah. All of our KO Cup regulars can
Mm-hmm.
be seen in this top eight,
Yeah.
and are looking pretty strong for the semis as well.
Maybe if you're watching this and you're an inspiring or aspiring CG competitive player, that's probably the place to start. KO Cups ran by Secret 27 around once every 2 weeks. Let you play against, pretty much skip the first half of brackets and just play against very, very good players just outright.
Yeah,
Um,
we like to do uh sort of Swiss or round robin rounds, so you get to play against as many players as
yeah.
possible, and then we have a small bracket at the
Mm-hmm.
end to see who can take the event. But if you're just looking for experience, you don't necessarily have to win the event. You can just
Yeah.
come into the Swiss round, and you can lose every game, but you'll at least get to play
Mm-hmm.
against a lot of players at once. So
It's a great place. Probably the best place to refine your skill in CG right now.
yeah, definitely a good learning environment for sure.
Yeah.
How? taking a look at the losers bracket here, how are you feeling about how this is shaping up? There's a few matches accruing down here.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Now that the heavy hitters are starting to lose, people like Mastodon, maybe even Jez, um, it's really interesting to see how it's gonna start looking in the like things like losers round five and losers quarters. Um, we're gonna see things like Mastodon versus Jez and like things like maybe even Dereal Deal versus Vi. Um, it's just gonna be very interesting, especially that Mastodon versus Jez. Jez is a player who really is trying to make a mark on competitive right now.
Wow. Wait, tuning back into the game here. Planolution has sided in Kaleidoscope
I didn't even notice
Warriors,
they were playing. He hit an Ice Elixir with it?
and he hit Ice Elixir, which is
That's big.
huge. And we saw the point turret, I believe, and cosmic treasure and point tree in there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I didn't see point turret, but
No, turret was there.
yeah.
But that's big.
So
And Kaleidoscope
yeah.
Warriors isn't
So
something
now,
that sees much play nowadays, but it's coming in clutch here.
yeah, Planolution gaining a ton of information and clearing out probably one of the worst things that he could possibly go up against.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearing that ice elixir is really important. So
Mm-hmm. He just plays down the Point Phantom. This could be a problem for Planolution if he doesn't have a way to deal with it, which it looks like he doesn't, but he buys the resource zone. Maybe he has like an activator. If he
mm,
doesn't and lets Phantom continue to gain points, that could be really bad for him. We see Black Hole come down.
early beast.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think there's much else you could really beast with it. So beast
yeah,
is totally fine here. Stops warriors from being body blocked out by the phantom.
yep. And now he gets to take another peek. Maybe he hits another attachment somehow.
Yeah, that would be really unfortunate. But I imagine Mewsh would probably play the attachment if he did have it
Yeah,
as
that's
sort of
true.
as sort of desperate. But I mean, could be phantom matter potentially, where he had no target.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a lot of information. It doesn't look like Mewsh has a lot of card draw right now.
Yeah.
He does have the Cosmic, which will not be active once he draws a card. So
Mm-hmm.
Mewsh needs to find a way to ditch a card and start getting that card draw rolling.
Yeah.
So Planolution looking really good at the start of this game. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like.
That ice might do everything he needs it to do. Or that ice, like, that might be what wins him the game. But we see an early Tato down, so maybe not.
Mm,
I was gonna say, getting an early ice into the discard could be really big, because if Mewsh doesn't have ice for, like, the majority of the game, it's gonna be really hard for him to sort of block attacks and keep
yeah.
up with playing one creature a turn. Um, but
Yeah, but important to note that Point Tato doesn't draw him cards, so
that is
he
also
could
true.
still he could still
Hmm.
struggle to find anything else.
But on the inverse, getting an early Tato here, just lets him win the game a lot faster.
Hmm.
Like
Definitely.
he might not need to see the other Tato before he wins the game.
Yeah, it does put on the pressure a little bit here.
Yeah,
And it looks like he takes Pelfam and sends the Atomic Gi back into the deck.
Helpham's also really huge.
It's just a little bit unfortunate that Planolution not finding the stars right now after investing in those double zones.
Hmm.
But once he gets rolling, we should feel a lot of that pressure.
Yeah. Most likely gonna see Treasure come down, right?
I would imagine so, yes. Now that the point tato has shifted sides.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
And now Planolution kind of has to hope for no star path.
Yeah. He's the hope for no, not know a lot of things, honestly. But Star Path is one of his biggest worries. That is the one way that Burn starts getting really active. Burn actually gonna kill a creature. That's a very rare sight.
Yeah, the sword not having enough health there
Yeah.
actually mattered for once.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Thorngerd
pretty
power coming in
crazy.
clutch. There's very few things that Thorngerd can naturally kill, but sword is one of them.
And when it does, it's pretty big value
Yeah.
because you don't generally expect it to kill anything.
Yep. Besides the Pelfam, what other options could Planolution have here? What do you think he's thinking
Uh,
about?
it's an interesting spot. He could potentially go Ghast here and bring back the sword.
But we just see him play Pelfam.
Mm-hmm.
Pelfam to
Solid. I
Potato.
bounces the potato.
I don't know about that. I don't know about doing that so early.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know that it really helps him out.
Yeah. 'Cause Mish can just play it
Since
down again, and it's not really. Yeah.
yeah, it will set him back a little bit, but I feel like pushing the 3 damage face by bouncing Thorn
Much
might have been a little
bigger.
bit more important.
Yep.
And getting it.
Oh my gosh. Mish hits the
Wow.
other Tato. That is very big.
He has to be careful not to alternate the potatoes though, because if he were to play the other potato right now, then potatoes would be on opposite planets,
Yeah.
and Planolution would be guaranteed to get a potato.
Mm-hmm. Most likely you're gonna wait for this Tato to die before he does play the other one, but
Yeah.
Mush now has Mush is threatening so many things right now because of that potato. Once both potatoes are go off, he'll be back in the situation we were in last game where he can win the game with so many ways.
Hmm.
Because 7 points really is not a lot for Baron to get really fast if you let them draw through their hand.
Yeah. But Mish is having a lot more cards in deck this game early on, I would say, than
Yep.
last game, which is a good sign.
Mm-hmm. For Planolution.
Planolution just going to attack over the Bugunk.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not finding any other pressure cards.
Mush probably he still has turret in hand. I don't know.
Hmm.
This is honestly looking rough for Planolution again, even though he had that early start. Um, it might be really hard for him to win the game again because Mush got those
Yeah.
two Tatos really early.
It was looking so good.
This is another reason why you should play a lot, guys. Understanding the rules is really big when it comes to getting better in general because if you build a deck with a misunderstanding of a rule or go into a matchup with a misunderstanding of a rule, it's gonna lose you the game.
Hmm.
Basically, come play in our tournaments.
We're desperate.
We're
We need
desperate.
players.
We need players.
Please.
We see turret come down, or a tree come down, and then the other, well,
Uses the tree to send it to the other planet so he can play the cosmic.
did you just cosmic twice?
No, he forgot to move the potato after Relihex Mine, so
Oh,
he just had to play point tree first.
yeah. We see Star Path come
Oh,
down, and this is when it starts getting really dicey for Planolution.
that's gonna be a 3 card star path.
Yeah.
10 cards in deck for Mewsh, 26 for Planolution, and
All of a sudden, it's looking like game one again.
hmm you can't imagine that Planolution really has an amazing hand.
Yeah. The 40 card deck starting to hit him hard now.
See what he can do with 10 stars. Might be able to
Could burst through,
start
but
going to work.
the problem is Muse still has that turret from earlier, if you remember.
Yeah.
So I think Planolution knows that, so I think he's worried about attacking face with 3 points or something, because doing that while Muse has those two Tatos guaranteed pretty much just wins Muse the games. But I'm not
Yeah,
sure how else he can win.
and Planolution is just playing so scared now.
Yeah.
Uh, I think maybe Planolution's assuming he can take the point Tato at some point,
Maybe.
but yeah, unfortunately not going to work out for him.
Yep. She Shock come down. Shock's gonna buy Muse another turn and get him extra stars for maybe another star path. Uh Apparently he thinks he misplayed, but he's still in such a strong position right now.
Hmm.
I guess he forgot to play the Tato.
Yeah, I think he
Second
could have
one.
just played point Tato to swap planets and then ended on 11 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Planolution doesn't run Crow Rock Comet in the sideboard, or he's at least not seeing it.
Yeah.
Uh, but I know a lot of players that don't usually play like to run resource removal in the sideboard.
Mm-hmm.
So
That Gehenna could be a huge problem for Planolution in the future.
I guess he's trying to avoid playing into point turret, but
Yep. Like we were saying earlier.
yeah, so it would seem he is really scared.
Mm-hmm. But Muse turrets it anyway. Because at
Mm,
this point, Burns' numbers, like the point gain, is so weird that 2 points is perfectly fine for them to turret.
yeah. But maybe that opens things up for Planolution and he'll
Start
start to
playing
hit
more
face really
aggressive.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see points, Kelelion and Bugonk. At this point, all Mish needs to do is play Potato and
I
hold
think
point in his
they'll
hand, and he'll win the game in a couple turns. And I think that's what we're going to see him do. See Bugonk get killed, Kelelion to bottom, and point in hand.
yikes.
It's a scary sight. It's a dreadful sight from Planolution, or for him. Has to win the game in, what is it, like 3 turns from now?
Uh well he has until he has oh he's already used one point tree, right? So
Yeah.
I think we're just waiting on point Tato, which
He has 2 turns to gain
two of
14
Planolution's
points.
turns, yeah.
Tato's so broken.
True.
Playing that Gehenna, I was gonna bring it up earlier. Playing that Gehenna when he has 2 battle zones like this could honestly be a huge detriment to him. I don't know if he wants to invest 8 stars into buying another one, but without doing that, he'll only be able to attack once a turn. So he basically ice elixired himself.
Yeah, I would definitely agree that playing Gehenna here and consuming 2 zones is really just going to ultimately slow him down.
Yeah.
Even if he does get around the Shocker Flyer for
Mhm.
one turn, it's just he doesn't even have the. I don't even think he has the damage output now.
Yeah.
Assuming Mish plays no creatures, I don't think Pelfam can solo kill him. So
Yeah. I'm assuming Planolution's talking about that because he wants to. I don't even know. Maybe Galaxy Crash and Black Hole Blocker? I don't know. But he said two activators. I'm not really sure what he's talking about.
uh, I think he means if he plays an activator
Yeah.
and then activates another activator in response,
Mm-hmm.
will the pointato move on the first activator and stop him from playing the second?
Uh,
Which, as long as the effect of the first activator doesn't resolve yet, pointato won't move, I believe.
yeah. We'll see what Planolution has in store, but it's looking so grim.
The big thinking turn.
Mm-hmm. You see at
This is
least
really
once
gonna,
per match in major tournaments like this.
yeah, this is definitely gonna be the deciding turn. If
Yeah.
nothing really happens on this turn, it's pretty much a closed game, I would say.
Yep. We'll see what he's cooking up though. You see Galaxy Crash come down and
Hellfam getting
attach to
attached to
Gehenna.
Gehenna.
That that was an interesting
Actually,
play, honestly.
Gehenna doesn't live because Gehenna's effect to live only activates on an opponent's attack or card ability. Or does it mean a card ability and opponent's attack, like only the attacks are opponent exclusive?
Um, I thought it was just whenever it was killed. Oh, I think it's any card ability probably.
Uh, we'll say any card ability because I believe I've seen this play done before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so opponent's attacks or any card abilities,
Yep.
I would say.
See
Might have
Phantom Matter
to
come down. Mew's just rubbing it in, pretty much.
mm,
But it's probably one of his better responses to this, because Gehenna can't beat over it. And
yeah.
so Planolution's gonna have to play another creature. And he'll only get to attack once because of it.
Yeah, and there's definitely no chance that Planolution is ever able to keep the point Tato.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's going to try.
If he doesn't win this turn, Mewsh has won the game. We'll see if he can do it.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible
I think
to
it's
deal
not
12
possible
damage in
either.
this position.
Maybe he goes crazy with Serb.
he would need two Cerberams and four battle zones.
You
I
could do
mean,
a
and
bit of
maybe he's
cheating.
just maybe he's holding the Relihex mine.
Maybe. But I'd be surprised if he was running Relihex Mine, if I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, maybe he's siding it in. Maybe he's outsmarting us all.
Hmm. Maybe Mishy's shot come down. Mishy's probably gonna play points and see if that wins him the game. Yep. The point that we saw from the spoons earlier.
All right, this is it.
This is the big
Let's see the Relihex
moment.
mine.
Is that it? And that's the game.
Game.
Mewshmallow with a clean 2-0 over Planolution. It's kind of expected, but you know, it's just what happens when you're not up to date with the meta and what's going on.
Very frustrating deck indeed.
Yeah. Probably the deck you want to see the least in your pool when you're playing tournaments like these.
Yeah, I would say so. Planolution regretting not sticking to Tekla for the event.
I think he places
He
higher
does
with
still
Snow
have
Control
he does still have chances in the
in
losers
loser's
bracket, I
bracket.
believe, against the real deal next, or
Yes, yes,
no,
yes.
or
Wait, no, no.
yeah,
His next match is probably going to be against Zwei or
yeah,
Diamond.
yeah.
I think Zwei wins that most of the time, so it's probably going to be against him. So we're going to see Control versus Combo.
Mm,
It's
yeah,
quite an
that's
interesting
an
matchup.
exciting match.
Yeah.
Be very interesting to see.
Mhm.
Well, that's
That's it for
the third
this.
round of
Yep.
our winners top eight,
Yep. Thank you
and
guys for
next up
watching.
will be
We'll see you in the next one whenever we start stream for Oddish versus Zach, the created game. Mush, yes, you are correct indeed. Yes, yes, yes.
very huge game coming up, I would say.
Yeah,
Creator of the game versus uh Hollywood.
arguably the best
Yeah,
player.
arguably the best player
Mm-hmm.
in the entire game.
We'll see what happens.
Definitely,
That's one to
definitely a
watch.
debated topic.
Be there or be square. See you guys later.
Exactly.
Thank you for watching.
Peace.